Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome once again to the United Regional Chamber of Commerce's weekly update. We try and bring you on some interesting guests and talk to some different people. Today, I'm very happy to bring on a good friend, known him for a long, long time, Mr. Carleton Legg. Carleton used
Hi,
to.
Jack.
I'm going to let Carleton tell about himself, but we used to be neighbors when our old office was on Union Street. And so, Carleton, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jack. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing very good. I'm glad I got a chance to come on. I just had a meeting with our new website redesigner today, so I'll talk to you a little bit about that later. And got a few events coming up. And as you said, we were housemates here at the old Industrial Museum for 20 some years, wasn't it? I wasn't there all those years, but
we were there a long, long time.
Chamber of Commerce was one of the first places who was in this building after it was remodeled.
Yeah,
it was a great space. And you'll notice I'm sitting in front of the LG Balfour exhibit, which is right over my shoulder there. And you see Mr. Balfour and his secretary. And
go in there at night, and they're kind of scary because I've had to do that before.
I know you did, yeah. They can be a little bit intimidating on some days.
Yeah, because years ago I was on the alarm list because I lived so close, and if the alarm went off, I'd get a call to go and check it out. And you go in there at night, and all of a sudden you run into one of those mannequins. Scares the bejesus out of you.
There was a story that one board member who was on that list brought a 9-iron with him.
Yes, he did, Mr. T. Yes, he did.
Just in case.
And he's bigger than both of us.
Yeah, in case he ran into something that wasn't quite a mannequin.
Well, the previous director, George, pulled a trick one day when we were there, and he posed as one of the mannequins as a tour group was walking by, and then he stood up and said hello. I heard this unbelievable scream from next door, and I ran over, and he was doubled over. He was laughing so hard.
You know, one Halloween, I dressed up like somebody in the craftsman shop, and nobody came in. It was like I did nothing. It just didn't work. It was terrible. But one of these days, I'll make sure somebody's around.
All righty. Well, Carleton, tell us about you first.
So I've been here, Jack, for about 8 years. I'm the director. I replaced, as you mentioned, George Shelton, who had been the director for 10 or 11 years before I am. The museum's been here. I was a school teacher in Attleboro, so I had some skills that related to this. I loved history. I was born in the city, so always been a proponent of the city. So it was a kind of a nice fit to come from school teaching into this. It's been a wicked learning curve. I thought I knew a little bit about the history, but I know much, much more after being here as long as I have. And, the museum has been on an upward swing, I think. And, now that the pandemic is subsiding, we hope, even though I just read that masks were being asked to be used again, I think, I'll put my mask back on if it means people come in here because It's a good thing. But we're getting back into the swing of things. We, as I said, we've had some great physical things, improvements here. We had a new water main put in because the old one was probably 100 years old. The building is 120 years old, and it was the heart of the industrial manufacturing district for jewelry, and it was a refinery in its first iteration in 1899, and it's a huge, wonderful piece of historic architecture, and we have some great exhibits about the history of industry in Attleboro. And we have probably 15 or 17 cases and exhibits, and we're open Thursday and Friday, and soon to be open on Saturdays in June. We're going back to our old schedule of June. On June 4th, we'll be open Saturday from 10 to 2. So before it was by appointment. We had a few people come in, but not many. But this will make for kind of like the old days. We're open the last Thursday of every month from until 8 o'clock. And coming up in May, on May 25th, I think it is, we are going to talk about, or it's 26th, we're going to talk about a program we've done now for 4 years called Passport to History. And it's, I got my little passport. I'll hold it up so you can see. It was a program, whoops, let's not take my beautiful mug out of there. It was a program started at the Old Colony Museum. We were on the ground floor. It was a master's program for a student at, I think it was Northeastern University.
Yes.
So long story short, it's a passport. You pick it up here, and there are 16 locations that you get in for free by bringing your passport. And I'm going to read now a little bit. So there's Freetown Historical Society, the Mansfield Historical Society, the Fisher Richardson House in Mansfield, the Easton Historical Society, the Carpenter Museum in Rehoboth, the Industrial Museum, and the Old Bridgewater Historical Society, the Middleborough Historical Society, the Maurice Robbins Museum in Middleborough, the Old Colony History Museum in Taunton. There may be some new ones this year, but we start June 1st. On Thursday night at the museum, I'm going to give a little background of how the program started. People are free to come in, and if I have passports, I'll give them out. And usually, I'd say we get 100 people who pick up passports and move around between 75 and 100. It's a great free program, and I will give my little spiel. I'm going to a meeting next week to find out more details, and we're going to emphasize that you don't just come to the museum, that there's a lot of great things in Attleboro to do. You know, you can go to Capron Park, you can go to Chubb's Blue Pig and get some barbecue down the road. You can go to the Attleboro Arts Museum. You can do some walking at the different walking paths and what is it, Attleboro Land Trust, I think it is. Yep. And so, you know, we're right on the commuter line, which makes it great. So it's a great little day trip. So Passport to History starts June 1st. Follow the bouncing ball. And then the following Thursday night at museum, we're moving it up to the 23rd in June because Expo for the Senses is coming back here in Attleboro. So that was not a mannequin. They don't walk. But we're going to do a program on that Thursday night to talk about the expo and what it's going to involve and what's going on with it. And it'll be great. We'll be open. It runs on Saturday, June 23rd from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock. It's going to be right downtown, featuring the Art Museum and the Gilbert Perry Square and the museum here. And we'll have more details about that. I know the committee is in the finalizing the details. So that's what we're going to talk about on that Thursday night at the museum in June. And in July, I'm going to try and get somebody to come in from Bridgewater who does scenic tapestries. And we have a couple old ones, one that was done by the parents of this company. It was called Scenic Arts. We're going to see if they can come in. And then in August, we're going to do some Steampunk Festival pre-work, where the Jewelry City Steampunk Festival uses the museum as a venue. It's a great venue. We have programs. We had an escape artist here the last time it was live. He was the great Carnival was his name, and I saw him get himself out of a straitjacket. and I thought he was going to die. He got that red from doing it, but it was a great show. About 30 people were in our stacked gallery. You remember that, our little meeting room. Yep. And we had 6 programs that day, and there'll be a trolley bus at the Steampunk Festival. There'll be so you can get from Balfour Riverwalk Park all the way down here. If you don't want to walk, you can hop on the trolley. So that's going to be in October, and in August we're going to give you some details about that too. And we may do a repeat of a thing called Tinkerbots, which is a hands-on activity for adults and kids where we have some leftover manufacturing pieces and we tell people make something. And we had one this past month in April, and we had some pretty interesting little designs made, and they make and they take. So that's what our summer looks like. It's been a real good kind of reawakening here at the museum.
Well, it's been a tough time over the last 2 years for folks. They haven't been able to go out anywhere. A lot of places have been closed. But this museum is, to use a sad term, a jewel in the city of Attleboro. We were known as the jewelry capital of the United States for a long, long time. And there's a lot of history there in the museum. Obviously, Mr. Balfour's desk is right there behind you. The things that the Balfour organization has done for the city of Attleboro, the history that is there, the thousands and thousands of people that they've employed over the years, and the millions of dollars that he left to benefit the city of Attleboro.
Yeah,
he is
and his
truly
trust,
one of the patron saints of Attleboro.
Yeah, the L.G. Balfour Charitable Trust was created by Mr. Balfour when gold was very inexpensive compared to what it is now. Mr. Balfour stockpiled a bit, and when he passed, he had it in his last will and testament to start the L.G. Balfour Charitable Trust, and it's for education and the people of Attleboro. So one of our mission statements is to educate the people of Attleboro about its industrial past. So we've been lucky enough to have some great grants from them. We're not a big, heavily endowed museum, so when we do a capital improvement project, we go out and ask people to to give us some money through foundations. And the Augut Foundation, L.G. Balfour, have helped to maintain the roof on this building. We had a $250,000 roof project that just finished in 2019. We just finished a water main project, which the Balfour Charitable Trust helped pay for, pretty much paid for the whole thing, and that was done last year at this time. They helped us with our sprinkler systems and other things. They helped us explore being open on Saturdays. They gave us some seed money to see how it would work, and we were able to, with some creative financing, to rearrange our hours, and we could afford it, and we did it. So the L.G. Balfour Company and the L.G. Balfour Foundation are a great history and legacy of this city right here.
Well, let's also talk about the meeting room. There's a lot of folks that don't realize that there's a room there that you can hold an event, you can hold a meeting, whatever it might be. Tell us a little bit about that extra room.
So the meeting room is called the Henry Pelletier Jackie Stack Memorial Gallery. And Henry Pelletier was a business owner here in Attleboro. He owned the Attleboro Printing and Embossing, which was on the corner of Union and Dunham Street. And it was just amazing. It was amazing that he was very successful. He sold it and he continued to manage it. And in his memory, in his estate, he endowed the museum with some money, and we were able to take the meeting room that we have and open it up. There's a new doorway in it, and we were able to do some fine tuning. So it's a cozy little space for 100 people. It's kind of tight for 100, but for 50 people or so, the Historic Society, Preservation Society has meetings there. We've had last couple months ago, we had the geocachers of Attleboro come and meet there. So they do all sorts of like use their GPSs to find little places around the community. They came, they saw the place, they liked it. I think they'll be back. Last year at this time, we had the Antique Automobile Club from Mansfield, the Mansfield chapter come, and they had that as a stop on their little caravan that they were doing. So we had a 60th birthday party there. We've had annual meetings of sororities and that kind of thing. The Association of Industrial Architects were here at one time. So it is a great little space. I call it a benefit of membership. So if you're a member, it comes kind of with your membership. And it can be used. We aren't doing it for profit, but we always accept donations. And
Absolutely.
It's a great little space. And recently we were able to upgrade our AC system, our air conditioning system. So on those hot, sticky days, it kind of keeps everything nice and even temperatured right here in the museum. So that's good and helps out with that the space in there.
And you also have the old fire wagon in there too, don't you?
We do. I can even give you a little picture of that. Let's see. Let's turn around. So can you see the Fire Queen right there?
Yep.
So this is the Fire Queen. And the Fire Queen came from the Attleboro Fire Department. The Firemen's Association restored it, and they sold it to the museum for the sum of $1. And that was used as a fire truck for the city of Attleboro. It's a pumper truck. They put a hose into a body of water, a stream or a pond. They drop down those wooden arms that are at the top. They created a vacuum in the pump inside, and they attached some hoses and were able to put out fires. So the Fire Queen was made in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, down the road a piece. In 1856, it went out of commission in Attleboro in 1885. So it's just, and we use it to show great fires in Attleboro from 1898 through 1999. The last great fire was the La Salette fire. So Fire Queen is pretty nice little artifact we have here in our museum. And it's kind of part of the industrial history here, because these industries, these factories, these places here needed to have a good fire department. So
absolutely. Well, Carleton,
hey, this works out pretty good moving around, huh?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you're getting pretty good at that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we're running out of little time, so
Okay.
I just wanted to say thank you for coming on the show today.
Yeah, tell people
hopefully
to
we
come,
can attract some folks.
Yeah, we love having folks here. We appreciate your help, Jack. I know we got a grant to do our website from the Southeastern Mass Visitors Bureau, and it was a matching grant, and we were able to get money from them and from the Mass Office of Travel and Tourism, from the Rotary Club of Attleboro, and from some local philanthropists from Foxborough, Ken and Pat Elowitz. So, but it's allowing us to come to a new age with our website, which is great.
Right. Well, tell us once again, what are the new hours for the museum?
So the hours right now are Thursday and Friday, 10 to 4. And then right now it's Saturday by appointment only. But starting on Saturday, June 4th, we'll be open 10 to 2. So you go to the farmer's market, you stop in here afterward. Or let's say you're doing your morning Morin's run, you stop in after and you take a quick look around. And we are very flexible with our Saturday hours. If you want to do something here, you can contact us and we'll go a little later. One year we had the class of 1962 during reunion times come here, and they had a little wine and cheese. So this is a great, as Jack said, it's a gem of a museum in the hub of the jewelry world back in the 1900s, 1920s. The billboard that you came into Attleboro on the train said Attleboro, the gem of the jewelry world. And then it lists all the reasons why it was, because it had so many people to employ. They produced so many products. They had so much space, and there was money here. There were people who were willing to invest if you had a great idea, and a lot of great ideas started right here in Attleboro. The World Series trophy back there in the Balfour exhibit. The original World Series trophy was designed and made by Balfour. Right. Major League Baseball didn't have one.
And then Balfour made it.
And Balfour gave him the idea with the help of Happy Chandler, who was one of the ex-commissioners of baseball in the 50s. And he jumped on board. I think it was because he was a Kentucky boy, and so was Mr. Balfour. So I think there was a little, country connection there.
Awesome. Well, Carleton, thanks for coming on the show today. We got to wrap it up right now. Folks, if you have the opportunity, you need to stop in, say hello to Carleton, look at the fabulous displays that are there, and learn a little bit more about the history of Attleboro the jewelry industry here in the southeast of Massachusetts.
You bet. Thank you, Jack.
So thank you, folks. We appreciate you jumping in this week. Hopefully, we can bring you on some more interesting guests and subjects. If you have something that you'd like us to talk about, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Big shout out again to Dave Angel, our producer over at AACS, and the whole team at AACS who produces these shows for us and puts up with me. So thanks once again, folks. Hopefully we'll see you next week. And everybody, please stay safe.